Prime Minister and the entire Liberal caucus voted against taking the GST off new homes, which would have saved up to $50,000 for a young couple trying to buy a home, almost $3,000 a year in lower mortgage payments, and would have stimulated an extra 30,000 additional homes built. Even the Prime Minister's own housing advisor said that this was the best housing policy he's seen in a generation. Why does the Prime Minister insist on taxing young people who are struggling to pay the doubling housing costs that he's brought since he took office?
Hear, hear. Well said.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians have long learned that whenever Conservatives make promises, you have to look at the small print. And what the Leader of the Opposition actually proposed was cutting billions of dollars worth of investments to municipalities across the country to create more density, to accelerate the construction of homes, and to cut bureaucracy and red tape. Indeed, members of the Conservative Party have been advocating to invest in their communities, to send money to their mayors. And the Leader of the Opposition wrote a letter in their name saying, no, none of them want those investments in housing. Shame on him, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, he's again imagining things. His program does not build homes, it builds bureaucracy.
Right.
The only density is in his head. Our policy was
I'm going to ask the Honourable,
What, you can't call someone dense?
To withdraw that and to rephrase this question.
It's fine.
Thank you. It's in his imagination, that's all. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister wants to tax people up to $50,000 on buying a home so that he can give more money to the very bureaucrats that block home building. It's not that his housing funds don't help. It's worse. They actually block new home building with more bureaucrats. So why don't we follow my plan to slash the bureaucracy, axe the tax, and build the homes?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the problem with what the Conservative leader is saying, leaving aside the childish insults, is that his own MPs are going behind his back, pleading to the minister to please send investments to build more homes to their municipalities, are complaining behind his back to the CBC that they can't stand up for their communities. Mr. Speaker, MPs are supposed to be their communities' voices in this place, but he gives them a whap on the knuckles if ever they dare be anything but his voice in their communities.
Before the Honourable Member takes his seat, I'm going to ask the Honourable Member from Niagara Falls to please not take the floor when not recognized. The Honourable Member. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Bloc voted against cutting GST on the purchase of new homes. So I just want to understand, a so-called sovereignist party wants to take money out of young Quebecers' pockets who are buying homes, to give it to the most centralizing government in our history, the battled federal government. How come a sovereignist party wants to concentrate power and Quebecers' money here in Ottawa? This question is not for the government's administration, so, and I see that the Right Honourable Prime Minister
How is it not?
is rising to answer this question.
Greg, you are lost, man.
I would ask the Honourable Leader to take his seat, and I hope that this will not represent a trend. Otherwise, we will have to move on to other questions. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Oh, Greg.
Mr. Speaker, what the Bloc members understand and what Conservative members in Quebec also understand is that $1.8 billion that the federal government and the province are investing for the Housing Accelerator Fund helps to increase densification and increase housing construction while eliminating red tape. But the Conservative members in Quebec can't talk about this. They can't say how these cuts, $1.8 billion in cuts that the Conservative Party is proposing, how bad they'll be because they're afraid of their leader. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Speaker. We want to put up to $50,000 in the pockets of young Quebecers who are buying homes. After Liberal programs managed to double the cost of housing and have tripled rents in Montreal. The Bloc is voting to feed federal bureaucracy with the money of Quebecers. It's only the Conservative Party that is in favour of sovereignty for young Quebecers to be able to keep their own money in their own pockets. I see that the Right Honourable Prime Minister is rising. Mr. Speaker, $900 million has been invested by this, sent to Quebec rather, to create more homes, less bureaucracy, and accelerate housing construction and eliminate red tape. And this is money that the Conservative leader is proposing to take away from Quebec. And these young Quebecers who need to find affordable homes and who need to have opportunities won't see construction under a Conservative government because they want to cut in housing investment, and that is why people have voted.